Welcome back, kids. And I've got a pretty sign to show y'all today. How about that? Pretty proud of this one. I love doing these oval signs. They just always seem to turn out so pretty. This was just a exceptionally nice piece of cedar, and I'm real happy with how this one turned out. Uh, anyway, since the last video, I have hit my 1,000th subscriber. This morning, I think I had almost 1,040. So thank y'all so much. And I do have supers and memberships and buy me coffee and all that stuff enabled. So if y'all are interested in any of that, down in the description below. And other than that, let's just get to it and see how I did this. All right, we're in VCarve Pro. Here's my design that I have worked up. Looks like there's a whole lot going on, but there are a lot of different tool paths, as you can see over here. 10 tool paths, but there's only 4 tools used, and one of those is the hog, IDC Woodcraft the hog, to cut the whole thing out. So really, there's only 3 bits used on the inside of this sign. And I'm going to break it down for you real quick. My first tool path is, I'm calling it Profile 02 down here. And this is just something new I'm going to try. This is just the first profile cut. I'm only going 0.02 depth. And I'm hoping what that's going to show me is if there are any low places on the slab before I really ever get started carving. So uh, going at 0.02, it'll be pretty easy to tell if I'm not touching the wood or if it's cutting deeper in other places. So that's a kind of a test thing I'm doing this time. That's just a 1/4 inch downtown uni. And then following that will be the actual first profile cut. And this one is going to cut a total of 0.08 depth. Everything, all the details and features in this sign will be 0.08. And since I've already did the first kind of the test run around there at 0.02, you notice up here at my start depth on this one, I'm starting at 0.02. So I'm starting right up where that first one left off, same tool. And then we're going to go down an additional 0.06 to make our total 0.08. One pass going around the outside of the profile, just like the first one. No need for tabs because we're not cutting through yet. So that one's pretty straightforward. Then the next one will be profile to own, and I think I'll come back to that one, but it's also 0.08. I'll explain that one later, so let's just skip over that for now. All right, and then we're going to do the trees and deer, which you can see it highlighted all of those. So that's most of the interior, with the exception of the sun and the text up here. Everything else is going to be on this tool path. The first tool we're using is, and this is a VCarve tool path, although a lot of this is going to be pocketed out. Really, the only thing the V-bit's going to do is come back and hit the fine details, that the end mill can't do. So we're going to start out with a 1/4 inch downtown uni to rough all of this out. Going to follow it with an 1/8 inch downtown Jenny to get what the 1/4 inch couldn't get. And then we'll follow that up with the 60-degree groovy Jenny, which will get all the details. Like I said, 0.08 depth, nothing fancy, so let's close that one. The sun is just going to be, it's 0.08, of course, 1/4 inch downtown Jenny. Just going to go in there, it might take 10 seconds to do that. So that one's easy enough. And now we get to the lettering. This is also a VCarve. All of this is VCarve except for the profile cuts. This, I'm only going to run it at 0.06 first. If I need to come back, I will. But sometimes it's easy to get a little bit too deep on the text, especially the fatter fonts like this one, where you have some room for that V bit to get down in there. So I would really be hesitant to run that without a flat depth, because I mean it could go way deep. So we're setting the flat depth of 0.06, 60-degree groovy Jenny. We're going to do our clearing pass with the 1/8 inch downtown Jenny. And let's see, nothing else mind-boggling there, so let's close that one. And that only leaves the cutout at the very end, and that's going to be cut to depth, which is 0.98. That is, the actual thickness of this slab is 0.97. I set it up over here as 0.98. Like I said in the previous video, I always add 0.01 to whatever my thickness of my workpiece is. I add 0.01 and set that as the cut depth. And then I have my slab set up on 1/4 inch plywood to suspend it above the spoil board. And that way I don't cut into the spoil board. That's been a very effective way for me to protect my spoil board. Since I've started doing that, I don't think I've ever had a problem where I gouged my spoil board unexpectedly during a cutout. So anyway, it's 0.98. We're using the 1/4 inch IDC Woodcraft the Hog, doing it in 6 passes, and it defaulted to 4 passes, but like I've said before, I'm in no hurry. I'm not running, production. I'm just making plaques and signs. I'm more concerned about the quality of the cut. So we're going 6 passes. Outside of the profile, we are adding tabs. Generally, I use 1/4 inch length and thickness on my tabs, especially on the thicker material like this. I am adding ramps to the toolpath, smooth 20 degree. I think that's pretty well the default here on VCarve Pro. And I don't mess with that. It works great. So, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's all of that. So let's go into the preview and see what it's going to look like. Reset that. Preview selected. Well, that didn't work. Let's try this. Oh, yeah. Reset. Preview all toolpaths. There we go. Oh, me. All right. See it coming together there. Yeah, and there we go. You can see my tabs. I've got 6 tabs on this one. Normally, I would only use 4, sometimes more, but the reason I'm using 6, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, is because I already know this slab is going to be cut in half at the top and the bottom. So there towards the end, this is going to be held in place strictly by these tabs and what's left of either end of this slab. I didn't want to take a chance on 4 tabs. I went ahead and put 6. All that means is an extra 15 seconds for the sanding to get them off. So no biggie. Let me colorize it so you can see what we got here. I'm on the sun. This is always an option for me. It's always either going to be a sun or a moon. And I kind of let the color and the grain of the wood make that decision for me because it's effective either way. I think this one is going to be a sun. I think I'm gonna make it a sun. So it'll be painted an orangey, yellowy color, like I did in the past. So that's it for the setup, and of course I'll have screenshots of all the tool paths and settings as we go through the video. So let's open up Masso Link and we'll send this on over there. All right, let me find it over here. This is for Mr. Alan Tittle. He's ordering this for his son, who just bought some property out in Texas, and he's calling it Mustang Creek Ranch, and he's already killed one hellacious nice buck on that property this year. So yeah, they're excited, and I don't blame them. So there's our file name. We know it's sitting in there. All we got to do is hit send file, and look how fast it's running. But we know it's going to get over there. Sometimes it's slow like that, and sometimes it'll zip over there in, like less than 2 seconds. But regardless, it always makes it. So let's go over to the Masso and wait on it. And just like I said, I'm over here at the Masso waiting. Man, it's never run this slow. Must be an internet issue. So anyway, once I get that fully loaded up, we will continue on with the setup. All right, I've got the file loaded up. You can see it right here. Everything's ready to go. I've already zeroed the machine. Set the Z on top of the workpiece. We're just ready to hit rewind and cycle start. We'll come over here, prompt me to load that tool, which I have already did. Cycle start. I'm going to pause that for just a second, just to make note that it did touch all the way around a little deeper down here, and but there was contact all the way around. Maybe right here's the only place it didn't actually touch. That is worrisome. I think I'm going to go ahead and shim up this corner and probably this corner. Yeah. F2, go to work origin. All right, back to my G55. Rewind it. Haven't changed anything except I shimmed up that the right two corners down there. Let's run that same path again and see what happens. Yep. Much better. Much better. This end was pretty good to begin with. All right. This is the toolpath I'm calling Profile 2. All right, now time for the 1/8 inch downtown Jenny. That little .02 profile pass at the very beginning, I think that's a pretty good idea. I'll probably start doing that. All right, get back with it. You'll notice through here, it looks like that 1/8 inch Jenny is kind of carving a stair step looking effect there. And what that is, it is carving in preparation for the 60-degree groovy Jenny. It's just leaving that step there because the V-bit is going to come back behind it and clean that up. It'll just make a bevel or a chamfer around those edges. All right, time for the 60-degree groovy Jenny. That gal earns her keep in my shop. I don't think I ever do anything that doesn't use her at least a small portion of the side. All right. We're fixing to V-cut everything, the trees, deer, and the text. You can see through here that the V-bit is carving away those stair steps that we talked about earlier, just leaving a chamfered edge. Now I'm switching over to the IDC Woodcraft, the hog, and cutting this joker out. If you stuck with me this far, I appreciate you watching. If you haven't already, please give me a like. And if you haven't subscribed already, this would be a great time to do that too. YouTube pays attention to those things, and they like to see some interaction between the viewer and the creator. So that's how you can help me to continue to grow my channel and get my videos in front of more eyeballs. So I appreciate you. I also want to remind y'all that I now have supers and memberships to my channel, just for a nominal fee. And also, you could buy me a coffee to help support my channel. All of those things help me to keep doing what I'm doing. And I've looked around on YouTube quite a bit, and I don't see anybody else doing exactly what I'm doing as far as these teaching type videos. So if you appreciate that, if you're learning anything, just drop a nickel or two in the jar, and I sure would appreciate you. I normally tape off the sun or the moon or whatever it's going to be, but I forgot to do that this time and ended up spraying it full of black paint. And when I realized that, I was like, "Oh man, this is going to be tough." So I wasn't sure about being able to cover that and keep my yellowy orange color that I normally try to use. But it worked out just fine, and I just took a couple extra coats of spray paint on it, and it turned out beautiful, which you'll see here in the next thing. All right, what you're looking at here, I cut those circles out because when I was paranoid that I wasn't going to be able to do what I'm doing right now, I cut out some sun shapes to kind of use as an inlay into the pocket. But I finally figured out that wasn't going to be necessary, so I just used those cutouts as a stencil to keep from getting yellow paint on my black paint, which would have been a disaster. So I avoided that one. And here is, once again, I will remind you, the only way you can get good results with this spar urethane, it must be applied left-handed. If you do it right-handed, you're going to end up with a mess. So that's just been my experience. Take it for what it's worth. But don't say I didn't warn you. And now this is the second coat. Sometimes I have to use 3 coats. Just depends on how dry that the slab is. But this one only needed 2 coats. But every time that cedar is going to soak up 90% of the first coat of spar urethane that I put on there. And there's the finished product. Love that sun. What do you think? All right, that's it for this one. Man, this was so much fun. Sign turned out great. Didn't really have any problems. It's nice to have a problem-free one every once in a while. So yeah, that helps keep it fun. Thank y'all so much for watching, subscribing, sharing. I appreciate y'all so much, and I'll see you on the next video.